Welcome to this mini-series called Yoga for Healthy Living. It will consist of 3 parts: one healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy spirit. Today we'll begin with healthy body, and therefore it's a power yoga class. Welcome to unroll your mat and join me. Yoga for healthy living. Now the Bible speaks about the body, and also yoga philosophy speaks about the body. In some traditions, you talk about koshas, or the 5 layers of the body. And the outer layer of the body is the food body, the physical body. Now the Bible doesn't have these 5 layers of body going from the outside in. But the Bible, the Christian tradition, speak about body, soul, mind, spirit, something like that. But it doesn't layer it. It speaks of it as one kind of unit that we can tend to focus on or something like that. But it's still one unit. It's a holistic perspective. Having a healthy body is very subjective to each person. And I'm not talking about having a specific body size or anything like that. But I will, for now, just leave you with that. So sit on your mat and close your eyes if you haven't already. And maybe you turn your palms up. And if you feel like praying with me, you can do that, or just listen in. God, thank you that you are powerful. Thank you that you created this body that I have and everybody who's watching this video have. You created each and one of us so wonderful and beautiful, different in size, in the way that we live and act. And help us to honor the way that you created us. And help us to live responsible with the body that you have given us during this life. Bring us your wisdom, Jesus. Take a few deep breaths. And if there's anything you need to let go of or share in a prayer with God, you're welcome to do that. And also if you feel maybe shameful or guilty for eating something you know is not healthy or something like that. There's a lot of body shame in our culture. And if you feel that shame, if you feel that guilt, maybe now say, Jesus, help me. Help me to let go. Nothing good comes out of shame or hitting yourself in the head. If you're ready, you can move on your mat. Maybe you take a hold of your legs or your knees and just do a free kind of movements for your back, spine, shoulders. And remember that even though this is a power yoga class, you don't have to do every posture. You don't have to go to the full length. Listen to your body. I believe that God has created our bodies very intelligent. It's just not in our tradition, especially in the church, actually to listen to the body as such. We're very in our heads, in our minds. But listening in to if the body says, hey, wait a minute, or don't feel like that today. Okay, just make sure that you listen. And if you don't understand what your body is saying, just pause that thought. Don't linger on it too much. Move into downward facing dog. Bending one knee at the time, waking up the legs. Let's move into plank. If you want to turn on your ujjayi breath, you're welcome to do that. Plank to low plank, elbows by your ribs, lower down. Now lift your sternum, lift your collarbones up, and then move through your hands into down dog. Again, taking your time. And then one more vinyasa. Inhale to plank on your toes or knees, whatever you choose. Lower down, again, slowly. Lifting up your chest, shoulders back, and hip up and back, down dog. Now move your feet out. That can be to your right side. Your hip is still elevated up. So you kind of stand in a side down dog, if you can call it that. Just keep moving. And then walk your toes to the other direction. And back. And walk your feet to the top end of the mat. Maybe your wrists goes into a little bit of a movement or shake or whatever works. Move your neck. And we're going to warm up a little bit, maybe untraditional in yoga. You either step to the outer edge of your mat. Now I'm just going to turn on my mat. You can also do that, but maybe it doesn't really work with watching the screen. So you find, I think it's called horse stance. At least that's one version I've heard. Toes pointing out, kneecap there pointing the same way. And then you move your arms up overhead. And take your hands down, stretching out your legs. Taking your arms up, sitting down in your horse stance or squat kind of position. Move with your breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. And then take your arms up. This time, take your hands behind your back. Exhale. Arms overhead. Inhale, exhale in front. And just continue doing this a few more times. Behind you. Make it work with your breath if you can. Squeezing your buttocks firmly together and just stay up here, your root lock, pelvic floor. One last time, up and back. Turn the shoulder blades back together. And then sit down here, hands down on your thighs, pinky finger towards the knee. And then rotate your right shoulder down, looking up maybe, lifting up. And move to the other side, twisting. And then you can follow your breath. Inhale as you reach up, still standing low in your knees here. Exhale, moving into your twist. One more time to each side. Then we'll get out of this. All right, turn your toes. Palms at the top end of the mat where they normally are. Step your feet back, down dog. Do your vinyasa flow. Inhale to plank. Exhaling, lower down. Make sure shoulders are in front of your fingertips. Helps your shoulders stay back away from your ears. Lifting up your chest, up dog or cobra, exhaling down dog. Beautiful. Stay in your down dog for a breath or two. Listening in to your body. Is it saying anything right now? Soreness, unevenness. I'm going to do a little bit of a sequence. We're going to take it slow the first time. Lift your right leg up and above your head, bending your knees, open up your hip. Now make sure that standing foot there is down the floor, toes pointing forward. Then closing the hip, drawing the knee underneath your belly almost, but then out to the side as you move into plank. So right leg or knee to right tricep, and then move it back, finding your plank with the right leg lifted. Draw the knee under your belly and let that right leg lower down the top end of the mat. High lunge, reaching your arms up overhead. And take a breath here. And then we're going to go for a challenge. You're going to step the back foot a little bit further away from the front foot. That was hard. And then see if you can come lower. It's okay if you bend the back knee a little bit. I'd rather have you bend the back knee and have that duck tail going too much. But staying really low, focusing on thigh strength here, front thigh. Really setting the footprint on the mat, sinking down, further down, further down. And then hinging forward, hands on the floor, step the back foot a little bit closer, stretch it out. Now warrior 3, or whatever version of this you can do. This is more the back of the standing leg before we have the front. Thumbs pointing up, back foot flexed, so toes are down. Now both hands on the floor, step it back, down dog. How did you like that? Pretty tough, I think. Whew. Left leg. Here we go, lift it up. Opening up your hip and just go for that lift in the knee as much as you can. Shoulders, though, aligned with the short end of the mat. Tucking the shoulder blades back and together. Going for our plank. Left knee, left tricep. Move to plank. Up, trying to kick somewhat the knee. Step it back, finding plank pose with left leg elevated. Navel in. Knee underneath the belly and to the top end of the mat. Reach your arms up overhead and just find your somewhat regular high lunge. And then you'll wiggle that back foot further back. Moving the front knee directly over the ankle, so almost the front thigh, if not completely front thigh, aligned with the floor. Want to feel that shakiness in the front thigh because it's pretty hard standing here. Letting go, hands down on the floor, lifting this time left leg up and back, align it with the floor. Lift your spine up, hands to the front, warrior 3. Gaze on the floor, deep breaths. Hands down, step it back, down dog. Either stay in down dog or move to your plank and lower down. Then we're going to lift into a cobra or a version of it as I read a Bible verse. So stay in your down dog if you really want to use your body even more, or stay here, or cobra, whatever works for you. So listen to this about wisdom and the body. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. So wise or healthy living will bring nourishment to our bones lower down. I'll come back to that. It's from Proverbs 3, I think. Down dog. Repeating the sequence a little bit quicker this time. Right leg up. Open up your leg, bending the knee. Take one breath. Closing the hips somewhat, bring this right leg to your right tricep. Move it back, plank pose, lift it. Move the hip a little bit up so there's space for that knee to draw it under. This time, move the front foot further to the front now that we are here to get that distance. Lifting up into high lunge and going really low. Take a breath or two. Now, if you like trying to hinge forward, you can do that and kind of see if you can find warrior 3 here. Lean forward and then see if you can, you can fly your way into warrior 3. Hands down, step it back, down dog. Shake it out. Lift the leg, bend the knee. One breath. Draw the knee to the elbow. Draw it back, plank pose, left leg elevated. Draw it underneath and to the front, and more to the front. Come on, squeeze it, move it. And when you're ready, high lunge, or crescent lunge, whatever you want to call it. Closing the hip, so this back hip is not further back than the front hip, or the left side. Warrior 3, maybe through airplane, if you want to kind of kick it off to the front. And this time, step it to the front and find mountain pose, and this time shake it out. So living healthy, having a healthy body, doesn't just start with healthy living and postures. It starts with the foundation of who you are and who God is. So don't trust too much in everything that your emotions, all that. Trust in God. Doesn't mean we shouldn't listen, but God is the one that knows best. Chair pose, hip width distance, sit down, and this time go really, really low. All right? Trying to let the knee joint here, the kneecap not come too far over the toes. A little bit is fine. Stay with me. Then hinge forward, fingers on the floor, lift your right leg up,
Open up your hip as much as you like. Now that we're going to stay here for just a little bit, I like to play with the balance. So you can take your hands and grab your ankle. Don't go too much into a forward fold right now because then it's hard to keep the balance. But see if you can do a split with this right leg and then take a hold of your ankle. Woo. Don't hold too firmly because the ankle needs to move and able to keep your balance. Okay, fingers on the floor, just your 2 fingertips, pinky, pointy finger and long finger there. Bending the knee, tapping this right knee joint into or just behind the left knee joint. Bending both knees, looking a little bit up. Stretch it out again, both legs stretched out. Lift right leg back. Lower down on the floor, turning around the back foot, warrior 2. Rise up. And again, you can stay high, make it comfortable. Or you can go and say, I want to use my body today. I want to get warm. I want to get sweaty. Get some distance, heels aligned, arms out. You know what then we need? To smile. Yay, you're doing it. Come on. Stay with me for a few breaths. And then you can windmill your arms around, going through a vinyasa. You step the foot back, plank pose. Move your shoulders to the front of the fingers, lower down. Cobra or up dog, maybe turning on your toes into a down dog. Jump or walk to the top end of the mat. Fold forward. Now just switch it up a little bit before repeating the other side. Knees together, or at least the big toe, the ball of the big toe together. And then sit down in your chair pose. Squeezing the inner thighs, duck tail tucked under. Almost there, keep breathing. Hinge forward, fingers on the floor. Left leg up. Again, just point the toes, open up. Find the glutes meets here on the side. Meet them as that's gonna lift up. And as we did before, maybe not too much of a forward fold. Instead, trying to grab your ankle, play with it. Maybe find it easier to hold the balance on this side. Woo. All right, fingers on the floor, closing the hip, taking this knee to the inside of the knee joint or to the outer edge of this knee, sitting down almost. Then extend the legs out again. Left leg moves to the back end of the mat. Warrior 2. And wiggle into your widest possible stance. Feel the front thigh, feel maybe the adductors here, the inner thighs being stretched because you're going lower than you normally would. One more breath. With a content mindset that you are doing great. Windmill the arms around, back foot off the mat, step it back, plank to low plank. Cobra up dog. Maybe you stay in child's pose for just a bit, or your down dog if you're up for it. So I'm not gonna try to be wise about healthy living and share all these good advices on how to eat and all of that. But maybe for some of us, the first step to healthy living is to admit
I need help. I need help from God, or I need help from other people that can help me on this journey to a healthy body. And that can be either to eat the right things or not eat, or actually not having all these regulations about what to eat. So you don't live in the freedom that Christ actually wants for you. Lifting up, coming down to your belly. Take your hands down by your side so that your fingernails on the floor and toenails just as well. And then you lift your chest up, kind of pushing your hands down, lifting up your legs. Maybe your toes meet. I'm going to stay here, focusing on strengthening the back. Try to lift your shoulders up and away from the mat as much as possible. How much of the thigh can you let go of the mat? And lower down, stack your hands, forehead on the mat. And maybe you windshield your legs. Gonna do just one more for the back. So reaching your hands behind you, bow pose I think it's called, either reaching the ankle or just holding or grabbing like you're reaching. Flexing the feet quite a lot, and then kicking your ankles into your hands, lifting the heels off, the knees off. Shoulders squeezed together at the back. Slowly let go. Hands underneath your shoulders, lifting up into tabletop, tucking the knees underneath the hip, and then cat pose. So reverse that stretch we had before. Now, most people who dare to do a power yoga class also like a little bit of a challenge. So if you have any kind of headstand, handstand, any pose that you feel like you're kind of practicing a little bit and enjoy practicing, you're welcome to do that one. If you want to try to do a forearm stand with me, you're welcome to try it. Now, make sure if you fall, you tend to fall out to the side. All right, so make sure you have some space. I've never met anybody who actually hurt themselves doing this. But of course, up a wall would be the most safe place. Then you won't fall to the side, obviously. But if you're up for trying, if not, just do something else. You're like, hands down on the floor, elbows somewhat shoulder width distance. So this is your stance. I like having my hands firmly down here, not folding the hands. Lifting up. All right, so here's your practice. So putting your body weight into your hands there on forearm. And then the idea is to kick up. And you can just, practice a little bit, trying to kick up and see where it goes. And then eventually you'll see if you can find some sort of balance. Staying here, or do your scorpion pose where you're bent the legs and so forth. See if you can come down a little bit slow when you're ready to stop trying. If you're still practicing something, keep doing it. I'm gonna find child's pose just for a second. Okay, let's all meet on the floor on your back.
Now, healthy living, you might think, the more I work out, the more exercise I do, the more healthy I am. But that's not the case. Actually, if you're stressed, your body doesn't need more stress by working out and doing a lot of things. Your body needs to relax. So it's all a matter of finding that balance and listening, and what is it that I need? Now, take your feet up and then let the sole of the feet meet like you're doing a butterfly pose, just with your legs elevated. And then we're going to do a bit of reversed crunch, so getting into our core, lifting up the hip off the floor. I have my thumbs down by my hip to support. It's always a good idea to exhale, either through your nose or mouth here, doesn't really matter, as you lift the legs up. If this, for some reason, does not work, you can just do a traditional one where your knees are together. I just like this one because it gets a little bit wider into the core. Try to see if you cannot just let go as your legs come down, but kind of resisting a little bit, lifting up with a lot of force, and then holding as you lower down. Let's do a few more. Last one. Feet on the floor, and make sure you can arch your back here, and breathe and relax. That was more the lower part of the abdomen or the core. We're going to go into the top, and again finding the transverse abdominis and obliques. And so you tuck in the navel as far down to the spine as you can, lifting your head up, supporting your head with your hands, elbows to the side, and then you move from side to side. Going as high and as wide to the side as possible. I like my heels off the floor. Still haven't figured out exactly why that is good, but now it's just become something I do. You don't have to. I am not letting my head reach the floor in between twisting to the sides. I'm just holding my head. So this is maybe the more advanced version. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That feels good. And windshield your legs. Now, if your body was something beside you, if you kind of did that thought experiment, that you kind of took your soul and your mind here, and then your body there, then what would your mind, your thoughts say to your body right now? What do your body needs to hear? You can lay still for a moment as you speak to your body. Now, what you might come to think about could either be positive or negative. I hope and pray that it was positive. I hope that your mind, your thoughts were saying to your body, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. Wonderfully made. And take all that shame and nail it to the cross. Let's do reversed pigeon pose, so right leg out to the side. Just gonna do a few stretches. And let go of this right leg. Take a hold of the foot and maybe you turn out to the edge of the hip on the side here. Take this top leg, move the heel towards the bullseyes of the buttocks, stretching the thigh. If you don't feel anything, you can always move your hip further to the front. And let go. Coming back, opposite side, left leg out to the side. Draw the right thigh in. Let go. This left foot there to the buttocks, come onto your side. Now you probably do not do a power yoga class just before bed, so maybe you don't need to rest on the floor. Maybe you need to sit in order just to, be able to continue your day and not be completely tired. But you know best. So listen in. What do you need right now? Not what do you have to do, but what do you really want? Do you want to rest? Or do you want to sit with me? What is the best? Tough call. Let go. I'm gonna sit. I guess this is what I need right now. So it'll just be 1 or 2 minutes. If you're resting on the floor, I hope you know that you are just resting, arms out to the side and all of that. And close your eyes. Relax your shoulders, your thighs. And I'll read Proverbs 3, verse 5 till 8, slowly again. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him. And he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil.
This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. One last thing I want to share. As I read this, I kind of stumbled on the word fear the Lord. Maybe you did too. Why am I going to fear the Lord? I was talked with God about this, and I felt like He reminded me that it's not that we should be afraid of God. But if we fear God the most in life, then things that we otherwise might be afraid of will kind of lose their power, right? My life might be fearful because I'm afraid something will happen to my kids, or, something will happen to me, or I'll get ill, or whatever. There's so many things you can be afraid of, worry about, anxious about. But it kind of all disappears a little bit if God is the main focus. If God is the one I fear the most, then anything else is, well. So I felt like, if you'd follow my logic, that it's not being afraid of God, but putting God first. Because then basically I'm not afraid of anything, because I know God loves me. Now take a deep inhale through your nose, open your mouth and sigh out. If you're down on the mat, you might move around fingers and toes. And make your way into a seat. So may God bring your health to your body and nourishment to your bones. From my heart to your heart, thank you so much. And I hope you want to see the next video in this series called Healthy Living. Focus on the mind.